based on what you said, and I'm thinking something different from what I've thought till this moment. This is what I'm asking you. It is not, as I thought, religious fervor that's driving a lot of this. It is absolute greed, fanaticism, and other unimaginable forces of evil, as opposed to genuine religious fervor.
Well, no. I would say it's both. So my hypothesis is as follows. Are the guys in the military intelligence Shura councils, the guys behind Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, running the show, essentially, are they true blue fanatics who believe that the end of time is coming and will happen in a town called Dabak in the Aleppo suburbs? Are they doing all this? Are they all in to usher in the Armageddon? Or maybe because as of 2003, you know, they were smoking Cohiba cigars and drinking whiskey and, you know, keeping their wife and 7 mistresses and 25 children in clover. Maybe they're kind of pining for the good old days, and this is the best way to facilitate that. If they can take Damascus and Baghdad, or hell, not even Damascus, Aleppo and Baghdad, and tap into the reservoirs of ancient Islamic glory going back to the Abbasid Caliphate, why not? The rank and file who join ISIS, you know, if you turn on the US media and you see, oh, here's a 14-year-old boy from Tunisia, he can't tell you one hadith, you know, he hasn't read the Quran, much less memorized it. He's going off to do holy war. Why do you want to do holy war? To fight the infidels and the apostate. You know, look, these guys, when they come over, ISIS uses them as cannon fodder. All of the foreign fighters, most of them, unless they have real military training, such as one of the field commanders in Aleppo, Al-Shishani, who's actually an ethnic Chechen who served in the Georgian military, trained by the United States, fought Russia in 2008, became a jihadi. He went over and is considered to be a good tactician. If you're some 18-year-old from Saudi Arabia, guess what? You're a suicide bomber. Yeah. You know? Those guys have the absolute religious fervor. Now the question is, and this is something Will McCants, who's written a very good book on the ISIS apocalypse, is, you know, does Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi really believe in the end of days? Based on what I know and people I've talked to, he absolutely does. But the interesting thing about him is he got into a university, Islamic University in Samarra, actually the Saddam Hussein Islamic University in Samarra, but that's my point. He got into it because his family had Ba'ath Party connections. So he too is a beneficiary, a profiteer of the ancient regime. So again, you cannot take this in isolation. Anyone who tries to approach ISIS from a strictly counterterrorism point of view, frankly, I have no time for you. You're better off, frankly, if you really want to understand this group, read some of the anti-Stalinist literature of the 20th century. Why did intellectuals, why did people who knew nothing about Marxism and Leninism give themselves over to the Soviet Union? Because maybe they had lived through brutal war and occupation. They had been ruled by the Nazis beforehand. Or they didn't trust their own defunct and kleptocratic local government. So the Soviets came in and promised them bread and roses and, you know, made the trains run on time. And yeah, if you acted up, you got sent to the gulag, but so what? You know, don't discount the power of just stability, law and order, even if it's at the point of a gun and it's sanguinary, and that's what ISIS is. And again, you know, the mafia rules. A lot of people I talk to who know more about ISIS unintentionally, they study the cartels in Mexico, or they study, you know, Italian crime families. I mean, it's run like that. You have capos de regime, you know, who they farm out then their turf. And their sort of territorial battles to other lower rank and file members. But no, I'm not discounting the religious fervor. That is a huge portion of it, especially the recruitment efforts. But again, you know, is it a vehicle for something more? And yes, there is a political project here.